Hello and welcome to episode 45 of the We Were Athletes Once podcast. My name is Kyle. I am joined by Koty.
What's up, everybody?
And Koty, all I wanted for Christmas was a week of not talking about every single game in the NFL.
Too bad.
Yeah. We don't have every game, but we have more than half of them. Uh, we were hoping that some of these games were teams for playoff teams that didn't matter all that much in the grand scheme of things, but week 16 is still a week where things kind of matter a lot. So we're going to hope that we don't go too long with this. I'm assuming this is going to be our last episode before Christmas, unless we get surprised with a basketball episode or something. But I'm assuming this is our last episode before Christmas.
We'll see.
Yeah, we don't know this stuff. We never do. Koty, before we start, what have you thought about this week's games?
um, some surprises, some really close games that I didn't think were going to be close. One kind of an upset that I called, which got me into the fantasy finals because I chose the correct defense. Um, yeah, there was just some good surprising games, and some of those kept teams alive, and some of those are going to make a difference for potentially who's getting the bye and home field advantage through the playoffs. And then obviously the shocking, crazy Thursday night game.
Yeah, and we're going to start with that. It is that game that you're talking about that matters for the one seed, or one of them at least, because there might
Yeah.
be multiple of them. Yeah, it's that game in terms of the NFC that matters for the one seed. We all kind of assumed that the winner of this game was going to end up getting that one seed, and the Seahawks ended up doing it. They were down 30-14 going into the fourth quarter. 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they go on a crazy comeback, end
Your
up winning
favorite
this game, and
quarterback.
well, we'll talk about that, but end up winning this game in overtime, 38-37. This is a game that the Rams dominated in the first half. I think they had double the time of possession, double the total yards. Um, the Seahawks weren't really throwing to Jackson Smith and Jigba in the first half, and I do attribute that to a big reason why they weren't really moving the ball all that well. And granted, in the second half, they were able to move the ball well with some of their other targets too. But the first half, like I said, it was all Rams. Score was 13-7, but it felt a little bit more out of reach. Uh, and yeah, at one point in the fourth quarter, score was 30-14. Doesn't help because with about 10 minutes left, Sam Darnold throws a bad pick. He ends up throwing two picks in this game, but after that, he does end up rebounding really well. Rashid Shaheed starts the scoring with a punt return touchdown, which makes it they're about to make it a one score game because they go for two, get it, and Seahawks get the ball right back. They score another touchdown, and the 2-point conversion that nobody expected. Or everyone expected them to go for it, but no one expected them to get it how they did. Uh, Pass out to, I believe it was Zach Charbonnet out in the flat, bounces off a Rams defender's helmet, and Zach Charbonnet just goes over to pick up the ball, and he happens to be in the end zone, and they score and they tie the game off of that.
Uh, yeah, hold on here.
Do you have something too?
I There you go. We'll play it for him. It
I feel like we might have to edit that out. I don't know if YouTube likes that or not,
I
but
don't know,
we'll
but it's a ridiculous play. Like it is a backwards pass, and by rule, it's the correct call. But it's so nonchalant. Like you could see that Rams player like diving for it right at the end zone, and and then like no one else tries for it. The ball's just kind of rolling around, sitting there, and Zach Charbonnet just picks it up with 1 foot in the end zone, and now you're the 1 seed. Like it's crazy.
yeah, and I think how they got there is like a huge point too, because they end up, like I said, down 30-14. Not only do they score 3 touchdowns between the last 8 minutes and overtime, they convert 3 2-point conversions. That if they miss one of those, it's over. So I mean, they did what they had to do. Good on them. Another big story about this game: Puka had a great game, and then he continued to be an idiot afterwards.
Yeah, I I don't know. I saw one of the guys that I like to watch do a little skit about Puka, and it was like him walking into the NFL front office and being like, "Guys, I've decided I'm gonna be a problem." And like, but why? I don't know. It's just getting boring. Kind of feel like I should be a problem. They're like, don't do that. No, I'm gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
And then he continued to be a problem. Um, Now, stats wise,
he
you
was a
know,
problem.
he had 12 catches for 225 and 2 touchdowns, which is insane. Which another point of this game, like looking at it, like if you just looked at the stats and you saw that Matthew Stafford passed for 457, 3 touchdowns, and their run game ran for 124 and a touchdown, you would say the Rams just blew them out. How do you lose a game where you have over 600 yards of offense or right at it?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like, I don't know. I want to say it's a double-edged sword because both defenses played pretty
Not good.
poorly, I would say, in this game.
And they're
But you
supposed to
have
be
to,
elite defenses.
yeah, but there's also going to be a lot of conversation, I think, throughout this episode in terms of some games where it's, was the defense bad or was the offense good? Or was the offense bad or was the defense good? I think this was just two really good offenses slugging it out. Good on the Rams,
You just called the
581 yards.
Seahawks offense good with your favorite quarterback?
I mean, they played well. Sam Darnold did throw 2 picks, but he got the job done when he needed to. Uh, yeah, Rams had 581 yards of total offense,
Insane.
457 passing for Matthew Stafford with 3 touchdowns and no picks. If I can find the right tab, yeah, 3 touchdowns and no picks. They didn't really get a whole lot going in the run game. They did run for 118 yards, but it took them 37 carries to do that between Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. About 3 yards per carry, a little bit over that. And their only receiver worth mentioning what they did was Puka. Uh, but they, again, 581 total yards against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Sam Darnold, 22 of 37, or 22 of 34, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was sacked 4 times, and they were still able to get their job done. Kenneth Walker had a really good game in this
He
game.
had one good carry.
11 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, and one was for 55.
Well, I mean, even if you take that out, the other
Four and a
10
half.
carries, he's averaged 4.5 yards per carry. So,
Yeah, well, they should give him the ball more and stop doing this stupid thing that they keep trying to do.
but Zach Charbonnet saved the game for them,
Shut up.
and he had almost 4 per carry and a touchdown.
Yeah. Okay.
He had a fine game. Um, so yeah, with this, the Seahawks are now the number 1 seed in the NFC. Do you see this holding up?
Yes, I do. Their defense is good, no matter what they showed yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever it is now. Whatever they
Like
showed
4 days
Sunday,
ago,
yeah,
Thursday.
I guess that was Thursday. So whatever they showed the other day, like Puka's gone off on everybody. Matthew Stafford is the MVP. They've got a good running tandem, and I just don't see them going on a losing streak to let the Rams back in.
Yeah, I think the only way I can see that happening is if the 49ers end up beating the Seahawks in week 18. Because the Rams' last two games remaining are against the Falcons and the Cardinals,
Wins,
and the Seahawks' last two games remaining are the Panthers and the 49ers,
who are
which,
both fighting for things.
yeah, they're significantly harder games, I would say. Maybe the Panthers aren't significantly harder than the
They're fighting for
Falcons.
a playoff spot, though.
They're fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to be going into a spot, and we're going to talk about them later. They're going into a spot where that Week 18 game is going to matter just as much for them as it's going to matter for the Seahawks, maybe even more because they're
More.
actually fighting for a playoff spot. But the 49ers are the toughest team that we just mentioned between those last four games. So maybe the 49ers can find a way, but I would lean towards the Seahawks and the Rams both winning out, and the Seahawks being the one seed at 14-3.
I agree.
All right, so we had some Saturday games, and we're going to talk about one of them. And this one is one that might take a little longer because it's close to home. The
Go on your
Packers and the
Packers
Bears.
rant.
Yeah, Packers and the Bears. Packers end up winning this game 22 to or Bears end up winning this game 22-16. In this game, Jordan Love gets hurt, takes a head-to-head contact hit from Austin Booker, and ends up leaving the game with a concussion. Malik Willis comes in, and he was awesome in this game.
He was.
Me and our friend Deontay, who's also a Packers fan, we were texting back and forth during this game, and I was like, I'm about to start a petition for Malik Willis to be our new starting quarterback because he's doing this and he's not getting paid $55 million a year.
Too bad it's not going to
Uh,
happen.
that's not going to happen,
And
but
Jordan Love has so much more upside.
he does, yeah. And Jordan Love wasn't awful in this game. He wasn't great. 8 of 13 for 77 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Malik Willis, 9 of 11 for 121 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Was sacked twice. That's a quarterback rating of 142.8 from Malik Willis against, a very a Bears defense that gives up a lot of yards, but also forces a lot of turnovers.
Bend don't
He also
break.
had he also had 10 carries for 44 yards on the ground. So he had that dual threat game going. Romeo Doubs, for the most part, had a good game, leading receiver, 5 for 84 and a touchdown. But the Packers end up losing this game on uh, a comeback at the very end. They were up 16-3, I believe, or 16-6 at one point. Was it? No,
16-6.
16-9. Maybe it was 16-6. I
It
don't know.
was
Yeah,
like
sixteen to
they had
six.
10-point lead.
Yeah, it was 16-6, and uh, the Bears end up getting a touchdown, going for the onside kick, and the ball just bounces off of Romeo Dobbs' hands.
He
Bears
wasn't even
recover it.
close to getting it.
Yeah,
It was
the
never completely in his hands.
the Bears recover it, score another touchdown, and or no, they kick a field goal. Sorry. Uh, however, they score, and I'm trying to blank out this part of the game. And
It
yeah,
was it was 16-9. They threw a touchdown on 4th and 4. to tie it up, and then it goes into overtime.
Thank you. Sorry, my mind is struggling right now. Yeah, and then they go to overtime. The Packers end up going for it on fourth down on a stupid play call. Don't get it. Bears end up winning the game on what was an amazing throw and an amazing catch from Caleb Williams and DJ Moore. You could tell at the end of that game, DJ Moore was gassed, but he
It looked like
had,
he died when he caught it.
yeah, he gave everything he had for that ball. It was a perfect throw to Caleb Williams, or from Caleb Williams to DJ Moore. DJ Moore beat Keyshawn Nixon off the line, and that was enough. And the Bears end up winning this game. And it was a well-deserved game, a well-deserved win for the Bears. I do think this is a very good team, but I am going to go on a little bit of a rant with this.
Well, before you go on a rant, can I've got some receipts that I need the folks to know. 8:24 p.m. I'm never picking the Bears to beat the Packers again. Malik Willis is taking them on a 98-yard touchdown drive, which
Which they should have.
it was a field goal. And and then I fell asleep on my couch and woke up in the morning to see the result of the game where I had to give him a didn't age well.
So this is the thing with that drive and with the game in general. So in that drive, the Packers had first and goal on what I believe was the 5 or 6 yard line. I can't remember exactly what yard line it was on, but first and goal at roughly the 5 yard line. And on first and on second down, the Packers decide to throw the ball with Malik Willis. Now, again, Malik Willis had a great game, but whether it's Josh Jacobs in the game or Emmanuel Wilson in the game, or you run the ball with Malik Willis, there is no reason to throw the ball on that play. I don't know if the Packers had a negative run from scrimmage all game. At least they've been getting 1 or 2 yards every play. If you do that and you get 2 yards, they end up running it on third down and they get 2 yards. If they get 2 yards, all of a sudden it's second and goal on the 4, and it gives you a lot better of a chance to run the ball again. I would not have thrown the ball at all that game, and I have no clue what Matt LaFleur was thinking. Later in the game, we're in overtime. It is 3rd and 1 on roughly the 45-yard line, in between the 40 and the 45, I think, in Bears territory. Can't kick the field goal because the wind is going crazy. And on 3rd and 1, they decide to, I don't know if it was a read option or if he was faking the handoff up the middle for Malik to roll out. That's what it looked like. It looked like it was a play action roll out to the left. And I don't know what the mindset behind that is. You have to run the ball up the middle. I don't care if they know it's coming or not. It is inexcusable for these dumb decisions from Matt LaFleur. And it's not going to happen, but this game, I think, is a fireable offense from Matt LaFleur. There is absolutely no reason that the Packers should have lost this game. And granted, I can't say it's all his fault because Romeo Doubs needs to recover that onside kick. And the special teams for the Packers has been rough all year. But I'm also sick of the Packers having to overcome dumb play calls. This injured Packers team, Jordan Love is out. Christian Watson has been in and out of the lineup all year. Zach Tom, one of our best offensive linemen, has been in and out of the lineup all year. We've had injuries on our defense. Micah Parsons is out for the year. I'm sick of having to see this team have to overcome dumb play calls from their superstar head coach. Their head coach that was supposed to be the next Sean McVay when he got hired. I don't care how many 13-3 seasons Aaron Rodgers carried you to. You need to do better right now. And this is a ridiculous game that Matt LaFleur pissed away.
Tell us how you really feel.
Also, it's almost like I called it at the beginning of the year that Keyshawn Nixon can't cover anyone.
I know he can't.
Last play of the game. Again, I don't want to take anything away from the Bears. I don't want to take anything away from Caleb Williams for making that throw and for making those touchdown drives towards the end of the game, or those scoring drives towards the end of the game. I don't want to take anything away from DJ Moore for continuing to have to do hurry up offense for the entire fourth quarter, basically, and in overtime to make that great play. Those were amazing plays from the entire Chicago Bears team. Keyshawn Nixon immediately got beat off the line, and he only made it look close because he outran DJ Moore and gained a step when the ball was in the air. Didn't try to play the ball at all, didn't go up and look for the ball. He was only looking at the man because he got beat bad. Keyshawn Nixon is not a starting caliber NFL corner, let alone a corner one. He is considered the guy that is supposed to be able to cover our opponent's best wide receivers. Now, I'll backtrack. He may be a starting caliber NFL corner. He is not a cornerback one. We need better corners. And I've been saying it all year long. And instead, we decided to get Micah Parsons, which was a great trade. I still love the trade. I still love Micah Parsons. There's reports that he's going to be trying to work his way back to week 1 next year. Or to be ready for week 1 next year, which I hope he does. But we need better corners because that was atrocious. Rant over.
Yeah, it's an unacceptable loss. And all of that could have been changed if Romeo Doubs holds on to the ball. I mean, we knew this secondary was going to screw you guys at some point, and I'm actually shocked it took this long.
It didn't. They screwed us over last week too.
But this is now a team that, this is a team that got lucky with some other outcomes this week, which we'll talk about. Because are they locked in now as the 7?
If
okay.
they
have to lose,
they have right now the Packers would have to lose out and the Lions would have to win out.
Yeah. I was going to say the Lions did you a huge favor this week.
Yeah. So looking forward, the Packers are going to be in the playoffs. We are most likely, I'll say. We're going to see the Bears one more time, most likely, because I think that's going to be our first round matchup, a matchup against the Bears in Soldier Field. I love that because we played them hard twice, and I think however the game goes, it's going to be a good game. But yeah, this was an unacceptable loss. This is a game that the Packers should have won. And again, I'm not going as hard on Romeo Doubs because physical mistakes happen, but mental mistakes from your head coach is just terrible. And I know he's not going to be fired. I know it's an unreasonable ask in the eyes of the Bears, of the Packers front office to fire him. I don't care. Where do we go next?
The Lions.
Do you want to jump to the Lions?
Yeah, I think we need to go with them. Let's just stick in the division.
Okay. So Steelers and Lions played on Sunday, and the Steelers end up winning this game 29-24. Before we get into the Lions, I want to talk about the Steelers because the Steelers offense continues to look really good. The Steelers ran the ball really well throughout this game. I believe, sorry, I'm trying to bring it up. I believe Jaylen Warren had close to 10 yards per carry.
Yeah, he over 14 for 143 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 14 for 143 and 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell, 9 for 50. Aaron Rodgers, his numbers aren't necessarily jumping off the page, but if you look at the throws that he made, over the past few weeks, Aaron Rodgers has looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old.
Yeah. And he's doing what he needs to do. Like, his job is to take care of the football, not turn it over, and make some plays on third down. and he's doing that.
Yeah. The bad thing that happened for the Steelers is at some point, either during or after the game, I can't remember which it was. Uh,
After.
after the game, DK Metcalf got in a confrontation with a Lions fan where the Lions fan looked like he was wearing a wig or something, and he was like trying to pull him down by his wig or by his hair or whatever it was, and threw a punch at him. And because of that, he got suspended for 2 games. He also got $45 million of guaranteed money voided from his contract from that.
Dumb.
Uh, this is the thing that I feel like made things go off the rails with DK Metcalf when he was in Seattle. Is DK Metcalf can't get out of his own way sometimes. He has these moments of looking like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, which he's had a lot throughout this entire season. He's been a big reason why the Steelers offense has been able to move as well as they have. But then he has these dumb moments of, acting like a diva or making stupid decisions that really cost their team in the long run.
Yeah, and he came out and was like, "Oh, he said derogatory things about my mom and called a said things that you should never call a black man." And so if those things are true, like I get the frustration, I get emotion. But then the fan also has hired a lawyer that said, no, I didn't do any of that. All I did was call him by his government name, which we know from past things. He doesn't like his real name, obviously, which is why he goes by DK. And if that's true, then it's the same stuff that he was in trouble for with Seattle. Like, and I don't want to say it didn't happen or it did happen because I don't know. I wasn't there. Um, but either way, you can't ever go into the stands. Like you just can't do it. Like you can be mad, you can say something back, but you're a pro. You're gonna get hecklers. You got to be able to ignore it and keep walking.
Yeah, and I think we need to take a moment. Fans need to get a grip. Like, there's one thing talking
Yeah,
crap. If this is true, this is a completely different thing. I even go back to I believe it was the fan in Cleveland with Jaron Duran moving over to baseball when, obviously Jaron Duran has had his struggles throughout the past few years, and a fan tries to, heckle him with stuff like that, and he gets banned from every single MLB stadium. I think that's something that more needs to happen more.
yeah.
And I
Depending on
think,
the situation, like
yeah,
if
depending on the
you
situation. If
just called him DeKalen, whatever his middle name is, Metcalf because he doesn't like it. No, there he shouldn't be banned. Period. That's stupid. Get over
yeah,
it.
and
But
that's
if he said the things that DK says he said, yeah, he should be banned. Fans, there are consequences to your actions. We may have free speech here in America, but that doesn't mean that there aren't consequences to whatever you said. And if that was true, he should get that ban, not only from there, but from other places.
yeah, and that's where I was going. If that happened, he should be banned. If it didn't happen and DK was just losing his mind over nothing, then I hope that lawyer that he hired is good, and I hope something comes of that
Yeah.
because that's
You were physically assaulted by a football player.
yeah, it's it makes the situation on DK's part even more ridiculous. But regardless of what the situation was, you can't do that. And now you're putting your team, who isn't necessarily a lock for the playoffs just yet, looking like they're going to be, but isn't a lock for the playoffs. Now
If
you're not
they
going to be able
lose
to play.
out and the Ravens win out and the Ravens make it, this is solely on DK Metcalf.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to play for the rest of the regular season now.
Yeah. And you're an idiot. I hope that that was interaction was worth $45 million. Insane.
Yeah. Um, and then on the Lions side, the Lions defense has been awful this year.
It's been bad.
Their Their passing game is still really good. Jared Goff threw for 364 and 3 touchdowns, 34 of 54.
Please
They
look at
had
the rushing stats real quick.
they had no run game. David Montgomery was their leading rusher, 4 carries for 14 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 7 carries for 2 yards.
That's unacceptable, just the amount of attempts that they had. You attempted to run the ball with your running backs 11 times. Not
Yeah,
okay.
it's been their run game and it's been their defense. Right now, the Lions have the 23rd most points allowed in, or is the 23rd ranked defense in terms of points allowed in the NFL. They've allowed 1,000 yards of offense over the last 2 weeks,
Not good.
and at the end of the game, there was uh, a bad call. I'll say a bad call on that PI call,
Yeah.
and a lot of Lions fans are going to argue with that. It doesn't matter.
Which that's
If you
also crazy too, because if that's no PI, getting that ball, lateraling it back to Goff, and Goff sacrificing his body to get into the end zone would have won them that game.
Yeah, but still, you have to, if you're going to expect to win games in the NFL, you can't give up 500 yards a game.
No.
You have to be better in terms of your defense. You have to be better in terms of your O line. You have to be better in terms of your run game, because it was also the offensive line, because Jared Goff got sacked 3 times. That we both, again, we can't stress this enough. We thought the Lions were going to go to the Super Bowl this year, both of us. And this is a team that most likely than not is going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I was like, this is the nail in the coffin for me.
In the last 2 games of the season, the Lions have the Vikings and the Bears, which those are both winnable games, but the Bears are a really good team.
It depends on if the Bears are locked into a spot or if they have something to play for still.
Yeah, and then the Packers' last 2 games are the Ravens and I can't remember off the top of my head who the last game is. I have it. I'm getting it pulled up right now. The Ravens and the Vikings.
Both winnable.
Both are
should
probably
win.
going to end up being wins. So yeah, it's a rough situation for the Lions, and as wild as the season has been, I don't think either of us would have expected, if you would have told us going into the season that the Lions were going to miss the playoffs.
If you said
We
the
would have said you were
Lions,
crazy.
the Ravens, and the Chiefs are all going to miss the playoffs, no one would believe you.
And the Bills are a wild card team.
Yeah.
And the Bears are winning the NFC North.
I was higher on them than you were.
Okay, neither you had them,
but no,
not making the playoffs
because I had the Lions winning the Super Bowl. So,
all right. Next, let's go to the Bills and the Browns. What is going on right now with the Bills? Because they are very. It depends on the week. They're very hot and cold. The only thing that's been consistent for them over the season has been James Cook.
Yeah. I feel like this is a team that very much plays up or down to their competition. If bad teams, they don't look good against them, and good teams, they find ways to beat them. So I don't know what they are. I think their wide receiving core is screwing them hard. But James Cook is carrying, so keep giving him the rock.
Their wide receivers in this game combined for 6 catches for 57 yards. All of their wide receivers, because only 3 of them, Khalil Shakir, Tyrell Shavers, and Josh Palmer, had catches. The rest of them are tight ends and running backs. I don't know what the Bills, very much so like my opinion on the Packers secondary. I don't know what the Bills thought they were doing, not upgrading their wide receiver core. Josh Allen went 12 of 19 for 130 yards with no touchdowns and no picks in this game.
Yeah, I think they thought they had a wide receiver that was going to take a step this year that did not take a step this year, and I believe he's still benched, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if he's playing another game with the Bills.
Which he was supposed to be probably that number one receiver, or hoped he was going to turn into that number one receiver for you this year, and then Khalil Shakir would be your number two, and that just hasn't happened.
Yeah, the Bills have clinched the playoffs at this point. Um, they're currently 11-4. They are still a game behind the Patriots, so it's possible they could win the division. But right now they're the 6th seed. Uh, the the Texans are. This is not updated. It still says the Colts are in the hunt on this. Yeah, right now the Bills are the 6th seed. They know they're going to make the playoffs, but it's again the Bills need to play better if they're going to make a deep playoff run. Because I know we both said that we both expect a lot from the Bills, and if anyone is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, it's probably going to be the Bills just because of their playoff experience. But they need to play better than this.
Yeah, if they can't figure out some of any form of passing game, it's going to be tough.
And then one quick thing to talk about on the Brown side is Quinshon Judkins had a really bad injury in this game. Yeah. I haven't seen the injury, but I've heard it is really bad. Prayers up for him. Hopefully, he's able to recover pretty well. But the way people are making it sounds like it could possibly be an issue moving forward, like beyond
Uh,
this year.
yeah, that's so broke the leg, but they're also, and I haven't seen any update on this. We're evaluating for a knee injury. It didn't look good.
I'm
It's
taking the knee injury
sideways and
as
backwards.
I'm taking the knee injury as no news being good news, but
Yeah, you hope that. I don't know. I don't want to compare it to other injuries, but there were people right away that were like, "This is Nick Chubb injury 2.0."
well, again, Nick Chubb had the issue where a lot of things were torn his knee as well.
And that's why they kind of considered it, because they're like, I don't think it's just the leg.
I think you can more consider like Nick Chubb and Tank Dell's injuries being similar.
Yeah.
If nothing happened in the knee, that's a really good sign. I
Yes.
think a lot of it depends on how clean the break was.
I don't even care. 6 weeks, he'll be fine. If there's no knee involvement, we're good. I don't care. Unless you break like your pelvis or something, or your femur, you're going to be fine. 6 weeks, let the bone heal. You're good to go.
Yeah, so that's good news. Again, we're hoping not hearing anything about the knee means no news is good news. Because Quinshon Judkins is one of the only things that the Browns have had going for them this season.
Yes.
Him and Myles Garrett.
Yes.
Who I don't think had a sack this game, did he not?
I didn't even look, but I didn't see NFL record broken everywhere, so I'm going to go with no.
This is the Bills.
I mean, it's tough to sack
Browns.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I don't think he did. He had half a sack.
Okay, so he's half a sec short.
Yeah, he should be at 22 right now, I believe. So he's got 2 games to get one full sack to break the record.
He'll get it.
He's not going to get the 26 that we thought he was going to get, most
Hey,
likely.
you don't know that.
2 sacks a game. That's possible, but
Week 18, he's playing the Jets. He could have
um,
7 alone in that game.
Brady Cook doesn't get sacked.
Come on.
He'll juke him out of his shoes.
Also, next week they're playing the Eagles, and Cam Jurgens, who somehow made the Pro Bowl, looks like a lost puppy lately, and guys are just flying right by him without him even touching them.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Chargers and Cowboys real quick.
Do we have to?
Real quick. Chargers looked really good in this game. Amara Hampton played really well. Justin Herbert had a great game. Quentin Johnston had a really nice game. But they're playing the 31st ranked defense in the NFL. Is this a situation where the Chargers had a great bounce back game, or is it very much so centered around the Cowboys being bad? Or is it a mixture of both?
I think it could be both. But Dallas's run defense hasn't been bad this year. So for Amari and Hampton to have a solid game, I think it's a little bit of both.
Also, do you think Matt Eberflus has a job next year? Because he's the current DC for the Cowboys.
Depends on how much Jerry likes him. He shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if he shouldn't. They have no secondary. So I don't know what you expect him to do. Like, he's done a good job with that run defense. And especially after trading away Michael Parsons, I like what they've done on that front line. But that secondary is terrible. So I don't know if it's him or if it's just that secondary is so bad that he can't really do anything with it. So I don't. I would lean towards no, but I don't know. I mean, I don't even want to think about the mind of Jerry Jones. So
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to have a job next year, but I also don't think Jerry is going to make a decision that matters. Like he's going to bring in someone who's equal to what Matt Eberflus is, because that's just what he does. He had a great hire when he had Dan Quinn as his DC, and since then it's been
rough.
bad. All right, Panthers and Bucks. Let's go to them.
Staying alive, baby.
Yeah, the Panthers end up winning this game. Their defense played really well. They ran the ball decently well. Bryce Young had a pretty good game. Baker Mayfield couldn't get anything going, and Lathan Ransom ends up picking him off to end the game. Baker Mayfield, 18 of 26, 145 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Bucky Irving had a fine game, but he only had 3.7 per carry. None of their wide receivers could get anything going because Baker couldn't get anything going. The Panthers' edge rush is atrocious. They need to do something with that because they can't do anything if they don't get pressure on the quarterback. But because of how this game went, the only thing that matters now is week 18.
Yeah. Remember when Baker was an MVP candidate before he got hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a different player because this guy's terrible. Baker has not looked good since coming back. And honestly, looking at the Panther, like, this is another one where you look at the Panther stats and you go, how did they win this game? They didn't have a good run game.
Chuba Hubbard ran the ball pretty well.
I mean,
I think their numbers end up in a good
6 for
spot.
27 for Chuba, which, okay, 4.5. But then Rico Dowdle was 9 of 29 for 3 basically yards a carry. Like, it wasn't great.
And they came out to just under 4 per carry.
But when you tie that into, so 15 for 56 from those two, and then you tie in that Bryce Young only threw for 191. Like, it's kind of surprising it went this way. But Baker was so bad it didn't matter.
Yeah, and again, it is only going to come down to their Week 18 game because next week you have to imagine the Bucks are going to be able to beat a Quinn Ewers led Dolphins team or a Zach Wilson led Dolphins team, depending on how they're feeling next week. And you have to imagine the Panthers are probably going to lose to the Seahawks. And
Yeah.
even if the Bucks do lose uh, to the Dolphins, it'll still only come down to that Week 18 game because the Panthers are not going to beat the Seahawks.
No.
Yeah, we're looking at again, and like we said last week, an 8-9 or 9-8 NFC South winner, and right now the 49ers are the 5 seed. Right now the 49ers are the 5 seed.
And if they win out, they have potential to be the 1 seed, depending on the Seahawks and Rams.
That's so
It's not
dumb.
going to happen, but it's
Uh
possible.
yeah, right now they're lined up to play whoever comes in second in the NFC West. They're not going to beat either of them.
I agree.
Let's go to the Jaguars and the Broncos because that was a very,
Let's go.
very interesting game. The Broncos end up losing this game 34-20 to the Jaguars, who still have an outside shot of being the 1 seed. Trevor Lawrence had another great game. He has been amazing for the last 6 weeks now? 7 weeks.
He's been very good.
23-36, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks against this Broncos defense is wild. They couldn't get anything going in the run game, but Lawrence made some great throws to Parker Washington. He made a great throw on that touchdown pass to Brenton Strange. Parker Washington has been stepping up really well over the past few weeks. This week he had 6 catches for 145 yards and a touchdown. And the Broncos sacked Trevor Lawrence 5 times, but again, with the amount of success that he had against one of the best defenses in the NFL, I think he's making you eat some of your words that you've had previously about him.
100%. He's been good enough that I traded for him in fantasy, and he's helped lead me to the finals because he's been playing so well. I thought when Brian Thomas Jr. kind of had the year that he's had this year and been non-existent, that it was going to be a bigger struggle for Trevor Lawrence because he was his option last year. Like you said, Parker Washington stepped up. I like the addition of Jacoby Myers. Brenton Strange has been good. And then, Travis Etienne can catch the ball out of the backfield too, even if he's not running the ball well, which he had a receiving touchdown this week as well to kind of put the finishing touches on that game. And I would like to say the Jacksonville's defense played pretty decent. It was a bend don't break. Like Bo Nix threw the ball a lot. They should have ran the ball more because Harvey and McLaughlin averaged over 7 yards a carry. So I don't know why Sean Payton didn't keep running the ball, but he didn't. Yeah, and everyone who wants to complain when I talk about my fantasy team, you all can suck it. I don't care. And because I started Jacksonville's defense over Denver's defense, I'm in the finals because of it. So, wham.
Yeah, so right now the Denver Broncos are still the 1 seed at 12-3. The Patriots are also 12-3, and they're the 2 seed. And the Jaguars are 11-4 as the 3 seed.
With a tiebreaker.
So the Jaguars do against both of them.
Well, they do over Denver.
They do over Denver, but I don't know if they do over the Patriots or not. I don't believe they played this year. They did not.
No.
So I don't have that information off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, who would be the one seed if they all finish the same record? But the Jaguars are looking to finish the season pretty well because they have the Colts and the Titans, so they're probably gonna end up 13-4. Uh, the Broncos have the Chiefs and the Chargers remaining, so at least that last game is going to be very tough. And the Patriots, um, sorry, should have had this lined up. They had the Jets and the
The
Dolphins left.
the Jags have the tiebreaker because of common games, I believe.
Okay, so if they all end up with the same record, the Jaguars
I
would
believe.
finish with
I think so.
the number one seed. That would require the Patriots to lose one of those last two games, and like I said, they're playing the Jets and the Dolphins.
They
So
shouldn't lose.
I feel very good right now about the Patriots finishing the year number one seed.
And who does
But
Denver have to finish? Did you
Denver,
say?
Denver has the Chiefs and the Chargers. So
So
I think Denver could very well be the number one seed too if they
yeah, it's
can
gonna
beat the
come down to week
Chargers. But
18.
the Chargers are going to be a tough game. And the Jaguars again are going to win out.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting with the dynamic of the seeding for this AFC going in the final 2 weeks of the season. But for a team that we expect to be fighting for a playoff spot halfway through the season, and now they're fighting for a one seed. Good for the Jags, man.
Liam Cohn doing a good
And,
job.
and they're lined up to play the Bills, which isn't a terrible matchup right now. If Trevor Lawrence can keep this going in the playoffs.
Especially if you don't have to go to Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
It's a game
that's big
changer.
for him. All right. Next, we have the real quick. We'll talk about the Texans and the Raiders. This was a
This was
great week. This was a great week for the Raiders because the Raiders played really well. Ashton Genty had right around 190 yards of total offense, and they still lost. So they're still in really good position to be the number one pick in the draft, or at least one of the top two.
yeah, they're getting a quarterback. This was a game that was very concerning if you're a Texans fan. Stroud didn't put up huge numbers. Your rushing game is not good. You would have hoped that Nico Collins and Christian Kirk would have put up more than they did. Especially Nico Collins, like he was only 4 receptions on 9 targets. And you can attribute some of that to CJ Stroud, but you definitely got to be better than this. And this is a top 3 defense in the NFL, if not a top 2. So I don't like giving up 21 points to the Raiders. I don't like that no team has really let Ashton Genty loose because that's the only form of offense they have is him and Brock Bowers, and you could not stop him. What do you have? 128 rushing. You got to do better than that. They have 2 weapons: double team Bowers and stack the box. That's all you got to do to stop the Raiders.
Yeah, I think the Texans are in a weird spot because I don't know if they have the offense to be able to keep up. And we've known this for weeks now. I don't know if the Texans have the offense to keep up with the best teams in the NFL. And they do play down their competition a lot. But something that I've noticed about CJ Stroud throughout his entire career is he tends to play better whenever there's pressure on him. And he had
Count him
virtually
out
no
in the
pressure on
playoffs.
him this game. You said what?
I said you can't count him out in the playoffs because he could have a game like this, or he could throw for 350. Like he is capable of doing it all.
Yeah, so I believe they're locked in as the 7 seed right now. I don't think they can move up.
I
And
don't
I
either.
believe everyone else is eliminated.
Can
The
they catch this? Oh no, the Steelers are leading their division. Never mind.
Yeah, which I mean they're a game behind where the Bills and the Chargers are.
So they could move up.
Yeah, theoretically, if they win out and both of those teams lose out, they could end up moving up, or one of those teams they could move up. But they're either way, whether they're the 7 or the 6 seed, unless they can move up to the 5 seed, which is probably not going to happen. I don't think they can beat the Broncos, the Patriots, or the Jaguars.
Probably not.
Um. All right. Next, we got the Patriots and the Ravens.
This was
Um.
a crazy game.
Yeah, it was a very close game, a lot closer than I expected, especially with Lamar Jackson missing
The
most of the
Patriots should
game.
have lost this game.
Yeah, I will say in this game, Drake May uh had the most passing yards he's ever had in a game in his career. I believe he threw for 380.
Yep.
He had a really nice touchdown pass to Kyle Williams. Uh, Stephon Diggs had another great game. Sorry, I'm trying to get this pulled up. Yeah, Stephon Diggs had another good game. Long touchdown pass to Kyle Williams. Mac Hollins had a pretty decent game. Ramondre Stevenson had 8 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. So the Patriots are still doing their weird not having a number one back thing, which I'm sure you have opinions about. But the Ravens, Tyler Huntley went 9 of 10 for
Sorry, I was
65.
muted. Hold on.
Okay.
No, I don't have opinions. Travion Henderson got hurt in the beginning of this game and was in concussion protocol. This was
Oh, okay.
not them relying on Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay. I didn't get to see the game. This is a game that I'm kind of going off of research from, so that makes more sense. Yeah, in this game, Lamar Jackson went 7 of 10 for 101 yards. Tyler Huntley 9 of 10 for 65 yards. So, I mean, they had a semblance of a passing game. Derrick Henry had a really good game, which one of the best games of the season for him, I believe. 18 carries for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers had 7 for 84, but I believe he fumbled late in the game, which
He
cost
did.
the Ravens big time.
He did have a fumble. He also, I believe, had an end around for a rushing touchdown.
He did, yeah, 18-yard rushing touchdown. We kind of talked about the Patriots already. I feel very confident about them being able to win out, and it'll kind of just depend on what the Broncos can do this point forward. As for the Ravens, I don't see a world where they are going to end up catching the Steelers. The Steelers have just been too good all year, and the Ravens have been so inconsistent, especially if they're not going to have Lamar. Like, I know Lamar has been bad this year, but he's still their best quarterback, and he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And the Ravens have the Packers and the Steelers remaining this year. So
Yeah, they're not
maybe
making playoffs.
there's a
They
world
have
where they
to
could.
win out, and they need the Steelers to lose out. It's not happening.
It's gonna depend on what happens in week 17 if that week 18 matchup matters, but
It will not.
I don't think it will either. I had a lot of faith in the Steelers going in, but the Ravens do still have a chance.
Also, speaking of that, we forgot to mention earlier, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers have set the record. for most
Most winning,
consecutive winning seasons at 22 now. It's locked in.
which they're gonna finish either 9-8 or 10-7. What are they right now? 8-7 or 9-6? They could
No, they're
finish
9 and
11 and
6.
6.
No,
They
yeah,
could
they're 9
finish.
and 6.
They could finish 11-6.
They could. They probably
That's
will.
out of character for them. Maybe that's what happens when you have a quarterback. You can win be more than 500,
And he's still 42 and can barely run.
but he can
Also,
throw.
he taunted somebody out of bounds, and it was hilarious. Made a
My
comment about how
favorite
you can't catch a 42-year-old.
My favorite thing about Aaron Rodgers is his lack of caring at this point. Like he will say whatever he wants when he doesn't even like isn't even involved in the plays, like the tush
No.
pushes that they do, and he's like 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he's just
100%. People hate on Aaron Rodgers. That's fine. He does some weird and says some weird things. Like, I get it. He's a weirdo. But on the football field, him giving people crap is hilarious. And I love every second of it.
all right. I believe we're on the last game that we have to deal with this episode.
Oh, good.
And it's the game that happened last night. 49ers and Colts played, allegedly. Allegedly, the Colts were there.
Hold on. The Colts offense played. Their defense forgot to play.
Okay.
So half of that team played. Don't ever hate on Grandpa Rivers again.
So in this game, Brock Purdy was amazing. 25 of 34, 295 yards, 5 touchdowns. Did throw a bad pick. I'll say that.
It was very bad.
Did throw a bad pick. Christian McCaffrey, 21 carries, 117 yards in this game. George Kittle had 7 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown, but he got hurt in this game.
Yeah, he also should have had another touchdown. They threw a fade in the end zone to him, and it hit both of his hands, and he dropped it.
Yeah, Jawan Jennings, 5 of 71 and a touchdown. But I'm very concerned about the 49ers defense because I'm sorry. I know you love Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers did not go 23 of 35 for 277 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick because
And only
he's
get sacked
just
twice.
Yeah, and got sacked twice
Can't move.
because he's just magically Phillip Rivers from 5 years ago again at 44 years old.
5 years ago, more like 10 years ago.
He was good his entire, even at the end of his
I
career.
am not a huge Phillip Rivers fan or anything.
Yes, you are.
Story. No, I just love the storyline. I think it's hilarious, and it makes me happy that I can sit there and watch a 44-year-old dude that can barely move, looks fat and out of shape, still play. Like, I love it. Like, it gives us all hope here watching this podcast of those of us that once played sports being like, maybe I could still do this. I can't, but I like to think that sometimes.
Well, he gave Andrew Tate too much hope in that.
Well,
we're before the week ends, we're gonna have a MMA/boxing episode with Aaron, and we're gonna make some Andrew Tate fanboys mad.
That's fine. I don't care. I didn't watch the fight. I don't care about the fight. I think the most important part here was while the 49ers gave up that many yards to Phillip Rivers, they did limit Jonathan Taylor to 46 yards on 16 carries. So less than 3 yards per carry. And I think that's the most important part. Because their game plan was, we're going to stack the box and make Phillip Rivers beat us. And their pass coverage was suspect at times, but they just smothered Jonathan Taylor all night. His long was 7 yards. Like, they did a good job there. So you can say what you want about that defense. They had a game plan, they stuck to it, and it worked.
Well, yeah, their game plan was only focus on Jonathan Taylor.
As it should be.
But you can't the Colts are out. In this game, the Colts got eliminated from playoff contention. Yeah. They never were in playoff contention once Daniel Jones got hurt. the 49ers can't do that against any of these playoff teams. And I'm
No, which
very
is why
concerned.
they're not going to advance.
Yeah, as much as, we're talking about, oh, the 49ers could be the one seed depending
They're
on,
not, they
blah, blah,
shouldn't be, and they're not that
blah.
good.
They're going to end up being the 6th seed. The Rams are going to end up passing them. And I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're so injured that they're not going to be able to do anything in the playoffs, especially depending on what the situation is with George Kittle. I haven't seen an update on that yet.
Yeah, it's an ankle. He got mad about it. He said it was a hip drop tackle. I don't know. I didn't see the tackle. Um, but whatever. I don't care.
I don't know. Is there anything else we need to talk about before? Oh yeah, there is. We didn't talk about the Chiefs and the Titans.
We
Uh,
don't need to.
but there are a couple things going on with the Chiefs that we do need to talk about. For
Their whole
starters,
team is hurt.
yeah, for starters, the week after Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL, Gardner Minshew also tears his ACL.
Not torn.
It's not torn.
No, but he's out for the season.
Okay.
So
Uh,
basically sprained everything in his knee.
okay. So their quarterback room consists right now of Chris Alodakun and Shane Buechele, who they picked up off the Bills practice squad, which
It's very bad. It's just setting up perfectly like I wanted, where if you're not going to make the playoffs, lose every single game once you're out and get the best draft pick possible. And they are absolutely going to do that because you got demolished by the Titans. They
yeah,
also
but
were
the
without every single player that is a starter basically this week.
more important thing that we need to talk about um, is for all of you that think the Chiefs are currently in Kansas, which there are a lot of people that think there are.
They are
There's a
not.
Kansas City. There's a Kansas City in Missouri, and that is where these Kansas City sports teams are
They're
currently
not even
located.
in Kansas City. They're in a suburb.
Yeah. Well, the Chiefs made an agreement with the state of Kansas once the 2031 season comes up to move to Kansas because they are going to. Uh, they agreed on a deal to build a stadium. They're what it seems like they're going to end up having is an 80,000 seat stadium with a dome. Again,
I
that's the
don't like
reports that
it.
we've seen. But the Chiefs are no longer going to be playing at Arrowhead Stadium after the 2030 season.
I hate
Um,
everything about it.
okay, Chiefs fan, talk
Now,
about it.
this here's the deal. So, those of you who have listened, I am a Chiefs fan. I grew up in Kansas City. So, this has been an ongoing process for like 2 decades now of there being rumors and talks of Kansas trying to get the Chiefs to come out there. And here's the thing: the rich parts of the Kansas City area are on the Kansas side. They have the revenue to be able to do that. And what it came down to was this last vote that they had in Jackson County, which is where I grew up. I'm from Blue Springs. Um, and it was an $800 million renovation that they were voting on to put on taxpayers. And they were finally like, dude, that's just we can't do that. Like it's getting ridiculous. Like if Kansas is going to fully fund your stadium, like this is what it's going to come to. Like fine, um, because the voters were just like, no, we can't do that to ourselves. And I get it. It's a lot of money that you're putting towards renovation of a stadium. But people are all my friends, all people freaking out over this, and it's not really Chiefs fans that are freaking out that I'm seeing. It's everyone else. Oh, they're not loyal. Oh, like this isn't a Stan Kroenke St. Louis situation. You're not moving the franchise to an entirely different. I mean, it is a different city, but like and state, but it's not like this isn't a half
They're
hour away
moving.
from.
They're moving 30 minutes away. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is still the Chiefs in Kansas City, just the other side of the river, not river. I'm so used to here in St. Louis, the other side of state line, and that's it. You're moving 30 to 45 minutes away. Anyone who's a Chiefs fan is still going to get Chiefs games on their TV as their local stuff. Anyone who wants to go to Chiefs games, they can still go there. Like most of the fans are already driving 15 to 30 minutes because there's nothing around the area. And that was one of the biggest issues um, with this before it happened was Kansas City didn't do anything to build up the area around it. There's like one hotel and nothing else around it. No entertainment, no restaurants, nothing. Like this is something that could have been avoided if they would have built up the area around it, but they didn't.
Yeah, and I do think the state of Missouri is going to get hurt from this because it definitely helps like revenue and it helps all that,
Mhm.
other stuff having sports teams in your state. And now the only sports teams that the state of Missouri has right now are the Cardinals and the Royals. And the Royals could very easily be following the Chiefs not too long from now because I believe their contract with Kauffman Stadium ends in 2030 as well.
Yep. I
Um,
don't know. This is just weird. Like I don't like that they're moving to a dome. Um I like Kansas City's elements. I think that's a big um, advantage for them. Like, think back to the Dolphins when they were good coming into the playoffs and just not being able to do anything because it was snowing and cold. Like, I think that is a huge benefit in Kansas City. You get the extreme heat and humidity, and you get the freezing cold snow as well. And I think that is a huge advantage for them. So I don't like that it's talks of going to a dome. Cool 80,000 seat stadium. That's great. I don't like the dome aspect. Like I get it, but I don't like it.
yeah, it's at the end of the day, it doesn't change a whole lot in terms of like fandom and in terms of actual football
No.
stuff. Like you said, this is not Stan Kroenke taking the Rams to Los Angeles. This is the Kansas City, Missouri Chiefs becoming the Kansas City, Kansas Chiefs and moving 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
Um, it more so again is a hindrance on the state of Missouri. The fact that very soon the St. Louis Cardinals might just be the only team left in the state of Missouri. Currently, there's only two, and they're both baseball teams.
I mean, you're gonna have
And
soccer fans really ticked off at you right now.
don't care. And I understand why, but also the state of Missouri hasn't really taken care of their football teams that much either. And the Rams, I understand why, because the Rams were horrible while they were here. But
Yeah, but
the
fans still
Chiefs,
supported
yeah, but fans
them. And
did
that
still
was
support them
but when you have an owner
until
that's like,
until
I'm going
they
to
sup-
move no matter what, so I'm gonna make this team terrible so that the fans don't even want to show up and they still do, like that's not on the state of Missouri. That's not on the city of St. Louis. That's on an owner being a douchebag.
yeah, they supported them until the like the last few seasons when it became very obvious that they were going to move anyway. And that was when seats kind of started to become a lot more empty. Also, the Edward Jones Dome was a
Trash.
terrible place to play a football game. Um, and I think Stan Kroenke, if there was anything that was ever going to stay, or it was going to make him stay in St. Louis, they wanted him to, or they wanted the state of Missouri to build a brand new stadium for them,
Yeah, and he
and that was
basically
never
got
going to
that.
happen.
He basically got approval for that, and he's like, "Yeah, we're leaving, deuces. Screw Stan Kroenke, Eugene or Eunice, whatever his stupid real name is. You can go suck it too."
So unless you can think of anything else we need to talk about, that is all we have for you. We tried to get this done a little bit quicker today. I think we did pretty well at that. Uh, if you guys like what we do, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. If you're following us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, uh, follow our page, download, uh, do all the all the things. Do all the things. If you guys want to support us, uh, you can head over to W Energy, who is our new sponsor, uh, and use code athletes at checkout for 10% off your purchase. That will really help us a lot. And I believe this is going to be our last episode before Christmas. So everyone watch at home, have a Merry Christmas. Spend time with your family, or enjoy spending time with your family. You know, this is the best time of the year. You know, we have playoff football coming up, and getting to spend time with your family. So, sorry for me being a little scatterbrained today too, but we will see you guys next time.
See ya.